Alright, I'm here to do the latest chapter of Toriko review slash discussion. There's some good and bad parts about this chapter. I very much like this whole Horse King Heracles arc for sure. It's just one of those things where Toriko knows what it's doing and keeps building up and up, similar to DBZ, where it just keeps topping itself every new arc with higher power levels, and with Toriko just ripping the shreds out of all the bad guys in one fell swoop. And also his infinite nail gun. But again, that was the last chapter. Let's talk about the crappy stuff about this chapter first off. The ending, okay? The ending was just really stupid, in my opinion. I hate when any sort of plot line becomes very obvious that it's not naturally progressive, and it's obviously something done by the author to make it make it more reasonable. And obviously this time in this chapter the author screwed that up by doing so, but then also making it very unrealistic and somewhat lopsided and stuttered, and just made the story, it didn't flow right, it wasn't proper. Imagine something like Star Wars or the Titanic or Avatar, not The Last Airbender, Avatar the movie by James Cameron. Imagine any of those who they also have to pay great detail to every little thing, so that all the hecklers out there, because you know there's going to be hecklers, are going to say, hey, well, that little detail there didn't make sense. James Cameron goes the extra mile, the extra 100 miles to make sure that doesn't happen, and he does so without ruining the plot along the way. This time it was very clear that the author probably got 3/4 of the way through making this chapter, and then he realized, oh my goodness, I forgot that when we came here, those metal clouds won't descend again for another few years. How am I going to fix this? And he did a sort of clunky thing where he's like, oh my goodness, I can do anything, so I'll just make the Horse King come here and blow away the clouds. Obviously, you know, with the manga artist it's different, because he has so much, similar to Harry Potter, so much to remember, every little detail, and he can try his best, and J.K. Rowling did a good job. Toriko artist did a good job. I would have forgotten about the clouds, but this author didn't. And I wouldn't say a good job, but it was still somewhat clunky, and it sort of more so reminded me about the clouds, and it was like, oh my goodness, it's so obvious he forgot about them, and then added, you know, threw in some way of fixing that loophole. With that being said, you know, this whole thing with Komatsu, I think it's somewhat cool. You know, he's injured, but this whole idea of making it so it's very obvious that they made this chapter and this whole adventure into something out of Pokemon. Go to each island, connect the gym badge. Each gym leader is harder to deal with, and it's very clunky in that way. I think it's bizarre and stupid because, you know, first off, they never really beat the Horse King Heracles. It was very clear that Toriko, out of the stroke of luck, was able to last long enough just to stall versus this Horse King. So their confidence going into the next one is just really bizarre and doesn't make sense. And I would much rather them being able to beat them and progress. At least they're getting stronger. We know they're getting stronger, but still, it's kind of stupid. That's about it. That's roughly all I wanted to say. Obviously, you know, people are going to remark again on the shark in this chapter that's similar to Pokemon, not Gyarados, but the other Pokemon. You know who I'm talking about, perhaps Rayquaza. And at first I was like, is this plagiarism? Then I realized it's a train, and then it's like, okay, it makes more sense, it's not direct plagiarism. Still, you know, I found it really cool. I think people are a little bit more heckler than me on that topic. I don't really even mind plagiarism of Pokemon if it makes Toriko cooler. Others might. So that's, you know, it was a very simple chapter, honestly, and I do like Zebra just knocking out that shark. Again, some artists forget the personalities for each character, and this artist didn't, and he remembered Zebra is this kind of guy. He will knock out a woolly shark no matter how strong he is. And then finally, I am very excited about this Monkey Island because of just You know, that one panel where it showed all these beast ass different monkeys. Like, just check out that panel. There's some ridiculous badass monkeys of all shapes and sizes.